Run that clock up. Run that clock. Yeah. We're just talking about jopal, and I didn't know jopal just really means pig's feet. England eats a lot of pig's feet. They pick Eastern Europeans too. You know, they put it in like a sikcho brine. It's kind of chewy kind of thing. And we're wondering if it was Chinese or whatever. Well, okay. While you were gone, the students, the classes. This is the hitting one. And the hitting one itself, you can't really see it per se. There's a lot of little holes in here, so that's why you can't really cook with this. The bottom one here is now going to be our rolling one, and I got little pieces of scrap around, which we're going to use to fill in the holes. But I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I just wanted to show you that I put the rolling piece underneath, and the hitting piece goes in the garbage can because it has holes in it. You don't want to cook it with holes in it. Cooking the stock, yes, but we're not cooking the stock. So this is a final flattening. This extra stuff I'm going to flatten into. What I'm going to do is kind of hit it. Try to close up that gap as much as possible. Feel it for evenness. This is a little high and this is a little high. Now carefully, because this is going to be our, I'm going to kind of just square this off. Don't cut the plastic. I'm going to use this stuff here that we have here. It's going to be our filler for our holes. I'm cutting this here because this V's in. So I'm going to put this in here. This over here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can make it better. Look at it that way. There's nothing over here. That's fine. And like with the galantine, the ends are always scrap anyway. Make it nice and square as possible. Okay. Now, meat blanket. You got some gelatin. New gelatin too, no less. Gelatin comes from cows. This is a non-vegetarian item. Some people are mistaken about that. Roulades are served cold. Like I say, if you heat it up, the gelatin turns to liquid again. But what this is going to do, it's going to capture and hold the chicken kumul. As the chicken cooks, it's going to give off liquid. And so this is going to be the sponge and the glue that holds everything together. Nice even coating. Not too much either, because it's not a... A little more in the center here because we have that's the big gap. And that will melt and cook and fill in these holes. And more importantly, it holds the flavor in. Okay, we'll get our force meat. And this goes in the garbage can. Let's see, let's make sure we got everything. Yep, everything's there except for the sage. Sage sausage is really good. The basic recipe we used in the sausage was the sage style. Now this has gotten really cold, and you can see how it stiffens up. The egg, the flour, the chicken itself will stiffen up. Give it a good final folding. off center a bit. Take a bowl of water. For your hands. Not too much, you don't want to get it wet, but what you want to do is get your hands, fingers wet, shake off the extra, and it won't stick to your hands. I should have showed you, if your hands are dry, it'll just stick to it like glue. Yeah, much different product than anything that we made before. The ends don't worry about too much because that's, you're going to whack that off anyway. It's not a... The extra... Really... Kimbap time, right? This is the easy part. Roll it in. I'm pulling this out. Make sure the plastic comes out too. You don't want to roll the plastic into it. Seam side down. Actually, where's Actually, this is better. Give me a little plastic bag. Need something to tie with. I didn't bring the twine. Funny of all times. You use the rope that we used for the galantine, or this will work. It should work at least. Maybe that needs two. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, that should be strong. Should be strong enough. You gotta do it kind of tight. Squeezing the ends, rolling it up. Now there's a whole classification of food called, gosh, I can slip my mind right now. Fantasy foods they used to make in the Middle Ages. And they used to do a lot of strange things. I think you know the nursery rhyme, Tisket a Tasket. A pocket full of basket. 24 birds baked in a pie. I'm sorry guys, not clear. But they used to make big pies, pie shells, and put live birds in them. And it's called illusion or fantasy food. And they used to put out a big spread for the king. This king would come by and would just basically touch everything. So he'd cut into the pie, and all of a sudden these birds live birds would fly out. Everybody, oh. And that's where a lot of this kind of cooking comes from. Is that it takes something very natural and make it very, very unnatural in that way. Now, like the galantine, I'll find more information about that. It's very fascinating. The one end you tie real tight. Well, both ends you tie real tight, but you tie one end first, right? And then you take this, like the galantine, you force it in. Not too much, but you want to make it nice and round. Roll it. And like the galantine, we're gonna poach this, but we're gonna poach it in plastic. Now, there's no way of really. You can't check the temperature going through this plastic. First of all, it's too thick, and you don't want to put a hole in it. So it's timed again. You do it by timing. and feel. You'll feel when it gets pretty much done. Actually, can you come around here? This is a two-man operation. I want you to hold that and kind of just pull it a bit. Here, right. See, so I'm sliding the plastic down. Oh, I'm wrong about that. Oh, yeah. Now, we'll see what happens. Put two together. Rope would be better. Too lazy to go get it. Since we're not using rope around the side here, you don't have to worry about lines, but you do have to worry about expansion. That's why I use the heavy plastic. Expansion means that it's gonna blow up. Okay. Let's hope for the best. What we're going to need to do is cook it into something. Get that hotel pan. Up top, all the way up top. That, here. Yeah, we're going to need something. We're going to need something fairly large to cook this in because it float around. Floating's good. Just get it up to that point. You take off these ends. A little nervous about using this. Hopefully this will turn out okay. Leave some of the tail here because, like I said, this will expand as it cooks. Well, hopefully the plastic doesn't slip off. I'm a little concerned. Now, if we cook it slowly enough, we don't bring it to a boil. This simmers all the way through. And then let me give you a close-up of it. Nice chicken hot dog. Oh, very nice. This could be served warm too. I mean, you guys really don't like cold chicken, and the reason why I do this is only because these menus are because they're very. When it comes to five-star hotels, they all have things like this on it. That's what gives them 5 stars. Is galantines and pâtés and things like that. In class, when we get back to class, we're definitely going to make a pâté. Even though the video shows how to make it, I want you guys to learn how to at least make a basic country-style pâté, which is nice. That's enough water. Okay, swing that over here. Now, once again, we poached in the stock the last time. We're not doing the stock because this is wrapped in here. So the idea is that with the gelatin and all the flavors that are in here, and with the egg whites, was going to cook it and give it some body. All right. The gelatin itself will act like a sponge and soak up any of the extra juices that come out. And then when it cools, because it's usually eaten cold, the gelatin itself is kind of delicious at that point. Okay. Highly seasoned. Once again, a lot of salt and pepper in there. That's for sure. Any sausages. So we're going to just float that in there. I'm going to add a little more water because I've got to make sure it doesn't burn on the sides. I'm going to turn that down a bit. What running time we got there? How much time? 14 minutes, okay. Well, I'm going to start a mayonnaise for this. But I guess what we'll do, we'll clean up everything and then get back to that. He's going to add some more water. This is floating, is what you want it to do, is to float. But you don't want it to touch the bottom because the bottom will, once again, it's plastic, so plastic will burn. So the flame itself is a little high now, only because we're going to get this going. You should start it from cold water to warm. Don't put it in boiling water because what will happen, the outside is going to cook extremely quick if the water was hot, and the inside is going to be raw. So once again, this is the reason why you don't cook it that in hot. That's enough water. You can put that over here, the extra, if we need it. Okay, sign off for now. Clean up everything. We'll get into some other items. Okay, see you in a little while.